Southern New England's trusted news source, ABC6 News at Noon.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Doreen Scanlon. Can you believe it? First pitch just about an hour from now on Red Sox opening day. And what better way to kick off a new season than by playing your longtime rival, the New York Yankees. That is the assignment today. Casey Cantz, tough day for you, huh?
All right, we're all beaming today, Doreen. Had to wait a little bit longer for this one after yesterday's postponement, but that is okay as we count down to first pitch from the Bronx. Both these teams with 92-win regular seasons a year ago. First time, though, since 2013 that these two rivals will meet on opening day. Should be a dandy of a pitching matchup, too. Nate Eovaldi is going for the Sox, Garrett Cole for the Yanks. Maybe meeting for the first time in a while on opening day, but, of course, the last time in general these two teams met and these two pitchers met was, of course, last year's AL wildcard game. Eovaldi and the Sox defeating Cole and the Yankees 6-2 at Fenway. That wildcard game still fresh in the mind of Garrett Cole.
Pretty formidable opponent. I just kind of see it as, two stags locking up in the forest. Somebody's going to break an antler every once in a while, and nobody's certainly going to back down.
Interesting way of putting it, Mr. Cole, but a Red Sox squad, he makes a good point, that was so close last year, falling in the ALCS, of course, to Houston. But a starting nine that looks just about the same, but adds even more to it in the form of Trevor Story, who comes over from Colorado, Jackie Bradley Jr., also back in Boston this year. New number one in the Yankee lineup, too, a familiar name, though, veteran Josh Donaldson leading off for the Yanks today, coming over from the Twins. First pitch from Yankee Stadium. We're excited for this one. Coming up at 1:05, full highlights and postgame coming up on the evening shows here on ABC6. Live in the newsroom today, Casey Cantz, ABC6 News.
All right, Casey, thank you. And it's looking more like baseball weather out there as we take a live look outside right now over Providence with our Skycam. All that rain overnight, drying up, leaving us with this spring afternoon. Chelsea's in the Weather Center with more. Hi, Chelsea.
Hey, Doreen. Yeah, of course, that rain postponed the game from yesterday. Now we have a beautiful day, even in New York, for opening day. And after a shaky start this morning, huge improvements here in Rhode Island and southeastern Mass. You can see just some fair weather clouds passing through the area. This will be the case for today and for a lot of tomorrow. Some clouds passing through at times. It's breezy, but we're dry. We're drying out after we had all that rain in the early morning hours and the thunderstorm activity. Temps right now in the low 60s, breeze out of the west around 18 miles per hour, so it is warm outside. Most of us in the upper 50s to low 60s, range a few degrees cooler at the immediate coastline, but all of us significantly warmer than where we were yesterday at this time. Up in Boston, 15 degrees warmer right now than yesterday. Again, you're going to get passing clouds coming in and out of the area, but overall loop over the past few hours shows you the heavy rain and the thunderstorm activity we had early this morning. Many of us woke up to it. We'll see sunshine for the remainder of the day. We'll have partly clear conditions overnight with temperatures that stay mild. We still have some spotty showers in our weekend forecast. I'll have all the details in just a few minutes. Doreen?
Chelsea, thank you. Now, new at noon. Pawtucket emergency crews responding to a partial building collapse this morning. It turns out only a few bricks are loose. This is at the Lifespan Cardiovascular Institute on East Avenue. Officials tell us a crash involving a dumpster truck pulled wiring from the building. The city fire chief tells us it is just cosmetic damage, but it is right above a gas pipe. So National Grid was called in to turn off the gas and power. The building was evacuated, but everyone has since been let back in and the power turned back on. Speaking of National Grid, the company is doing emergency construction work on Main Street at the intersection of Almy Ave and Warren. This work is just underway now. The road is down to one lane, so expect delays if you're traveling through in the near future. Former President Bill Clinton is coming to Rhode Island. He's scheduled to visit Brown University on April 26th as part of an annual lecture series. That series is in memory of Casey Shearer, Brown class of 2000, an aspiring writer and sportscaster who died just days before she was set to graduate from Brown. Clinton knew Shearer and spoke at the 2000 memorial service at Brown. And now to today's headlines. The trial of a former Providence school administrator accused of rubbing a child's foot without consent is now underway, starting this morning. Warwick police charged Alenka Alege with simple assault and battery back in the spring. Officers said he massaged a boy's foot at a gym in Warwick against the boy's wishes. Alege resigned from his position as a network superintendent with Providence Schools shortly after. Two Central Falls police officers recognized today for a job well done in their community. The Justice Department recently announcing Major Christopher Reed and Sergeant Jeffrey Arujo were awarded the Attorney General's Award for Distinguished Service in Community Policing. The city recognized those officers for their achievement with a ceremony at City Hall this morning. We'll have more on that first at 4. And the Rhode Island State Police are part of a multi-state effort to crack down on traffic enforcement on 95 today. The I-95 Drive to Save Lives campaign runs through tomorrow. There will be enhanced patrols along 95 all day as state police look to bring awareness to the more than 1,000 traffic deaths on 95 last year. Al fresco on the Hill returns to Providence for a third year. Rhode Island Governor Dan McKee expected to join city officials and restaurant leaders to make the announcement this hour. Last year, a portion of Atwell's Ave closed on Friday and Saturday nights, with dining tables replacing the cars. It allowed restaurants to expand their outdoor dining capacity. And checking some national headlines today. The Senate voting to confirm Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson to be the first black woman to the United States Supreme Court. And today, President Biden delivering remarks at the White House to mark this major moment in American history. ABC's Eka Jachi has more.
Today, a celebration in the nation's capital.
And this nomination is confirmed.
All right. Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson shattering the glass ceiling, becoming the first black woman in our nation's history to be elevated to the Supreme Court. Throughout Jackson's lengthy and contentious public hearings, several Republican senators attempted to paint her as soft on crime, some even suggesting she wants to expand the number of justices on the court, a role the Constitution reserves solely for Congress. Every single Democrat in the Senate and 3 Republicans, Senator Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, and Mitt Romney, voted for Jackson.
A greater moment for America as we rise to a more perfect union.
Romney was the only Republican in the chamber seen giving Jackson a standing ovation as the other GOP senators walked out during the extended applause. Judge Jackson won't be elevated to Justice Jackson until her mentor Stephen Breyer officially retires from the court this summer. Judge Jackson's confirmation means the Supreme Court now has 4 women on the bench. And for the first time in our nation's history, white men will be in the minority. Eka Jachi, ABC News, Washington.
And coming up here on ABC6 News at noon, the crisis in Ukraine. 2 rockets hit a railway station in eastern Ukraine packed with evacuees. More on the damage and the lives lost there. And later, it is a story that gripped the attention of southern New England and the nation. A preview of tonight's ABC 2020 special on Michelle Carter's case that ran right through court in Taunton. Back now at the latest on the war in Ukraine, now in its 7th week. A train station filled with thousands of people was hit by at least 2 missiles this morning, killing dozens. This as Ukraine braces for a Russian offensive in the eastern and southern parts of the country. ABC's Rena Roy has the latest.
Horrific scenes coming out of eastern Ukraine, where Ukrainian officials say at least 50 have been killed and at least 100 injured in a Russian attack on a train station in Kramatorsk. As thousands were trying to escape before Russia's renewed offensive, you can see smoke billowing into the air. Below, a rocket lies on the ground. Russian officials denying responsibility, as they have in the city of Bucha, where hundreds of innocent civilians have died. This apartment block taking a direct hit. ABC's James Longman with a man named Bodan who lost a friend there.
And that is the remains of his friend, his child remains. I mean, I'm looking at his bones, at his body here, just lying on the floor.
Because of these atrocities, Russia suspended from the United Nations Human Rights Council. And now the European Union approving a 5th round of sanctions on Russia, freezing the assets of several Russian banks, banning coal imports from Russia, and banning access to EU ports for ships flying the Russian flag. Ukraine's foreign minister now warning the battle for the East will be devastating.
The battle for Donbas will remind you was Second World War.
Ukrainian President Zelensky is calling for more help from the West as the country braces for more attacks. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin says the U.S. is providing Ukrainian forces with intelligence to support their operations in the Donbas region. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Well, coming up next on ABC6 News at noon, it made local headlines, now the subject of a national series. We'll preview tonight's 2020 special on the Michelle Carter case. Plus, Roger Williams Park Zoo taking precautions amid an uptick in avian flu, where they're moving certain birds and why. Back now with more of the unprecedented case of texting that landed a woman behind bars. Michelle Carter was convicted after sending messages encouraging her boyfriend to take his own life. The case was heard in Taunton District Court, and it is the subject of a new Hulu series, The Girl from Plainville. ABC's Deborah Roberts has a new 2020 special on that case tonight. Here's a preview.
When you began to hear and read some of those text messages, what went through your mind?
It's shocking because you don't think a human being is capable. Just a different caliber of person that I've ever experienced in my life. So it was pretty disturbing. I don't think that she helped him kill himself. I think she forced him to kill himself.
You think she is the cause of his death?
Yeah, I think if it wasn't for her, he'd still be here.
Conrad's Aunt Kim and cousin took me to a memorial in the parking lot where he died. Do you come out here at all very often?
I do. Every chance I get, actually.
I drive by here a lot, and I like seeing what people leave, and sometimes they'll write little notes.
So you brought flowers today?
Jaden bought these flowers. This is the place to visit him. It shouldn't be in a parking lot.
How much do you think about Conrad?
Every single day. Almost every minute. He's always with us.
That's special tonight right here on ABC6 at 9 o'clock. Well, Roger Williams Park Zoo is taking some early precautions against avian flu as it spreads among wild birds and flocks on the East Coast. The most susceptible birds like chickens, turkey, and peacock have been moved off exhibit outside to indoor and fully enclosed spaces. Zoo staff is also wearing face masks around all animal species. The senior vet at the zoo said it is a serious concern.
And now, your ABC6 Storm Tracker weather with meteorologist Chelsea Priest.
Well, if you were with us early this morning, I showed the Block Island camera and you couldn't see anything. Visibility was down to less than a quarter of a mile. We have made such huge strides outside today. A really beautiful afternoon. It's a little bit breezy, a little bit cooler for our coastal locations, but all in all, we're getting much brighter and we have mild temperatures for this time of year. We're sitting at 61 degrees in Providence right now, 57 in Smithfield, 55 in Westerly, 55 in Newport, 54 over Block Island. Average high for this time of year is in that mid-50s range for the Providence area. It's a few degrees cooler on average for our coastal spots. So all of us seeing above average temperatures outside this afternoon, better than the last couple of days. You know, yesterday was dry for most of the day, but it was overcast. And then, of course, we had some heavy rain and thunderstorm activity coming through the area overnight. So at this point, we're seeing huge improvements from where we've been at the last couple of days. Breeze is coming in from the southwest, and it is a bit breezy outside. Figure about 10 to nearly 20 mile per hour sustained winds and some gusts coming in the 20 to 25 mile per hour range. Nothing overly gusty, but certainly a breeze as we continue to clear out after that system came through overnight and into this morning. The temperatures well above average for this time of year, sitting in the low 60s right now. We're going to gain another few degrees, topping out in the mid 60s range. And then over the weekend, we cool down, but we're still seasonable, if not slightly warmer than average, with highs both Saturday and Sunday in the mid to upper 50s. Now we head into next week and you start to see those temperatures climbing. By Wednesday, we'll be hovering close to 70 degrees in many locations inland. Again, at the coastline, it ends up a few degrees cooler, but a nice warm week ahead of us after we get through our seasonable weekend. Here's a loop over the past 6 hours. Up until very early this morning, we still had some heavy rain falling through southeastern Mass, thunder, lightning, torrential rain in the early morning hours. At this point, we are dry. You're still going to see some wraparound clouds coming through at times, but all in all, we are drier and we're sunnier outside for the remainder of the day. We'll be partly clear as we head through tonight. An even wider view shows you this secondary low system. It's very large and almost an exact circle just spinning off to our west. And as we head into the day tomorrow, you're going to see a mix of some sun and clouds, but also some of this spotty shower activity will be possible as we head into tomorrow. What you're looking at on your futurecast, dry, clear conditions outside. We head through tonight, and here's what I'm talking about. That little low gets a bit closer, and we may see some scattered showers at times. A good majority of the day tomorrow is rain-free. Don't be surprised if you get a quick shower coming through. You'll also get some sunshine. Overnight into Sunday morning, you're seeing partly clear conditions. Sunday, kind of a blend of sun and clouds, temps in the 50s. The one good thing about the heavy rain that we had for many locations early this morning, pollen counts are a little bit lower today as we dry out. Again, tomorrow there's some spotty showers in the forecast, not enough to weigh down that pollen, and those pollen counts into next week as we continue to see dry and mild weather will continue to rise. Mid-60s outside today. We're partly clear overnight. It's a quiet, mild night. And tomorrow we end up with highs still in the mid to upper 50s. Again, some sun, some clouds passing through at times, some scattered showers in the forecast for tomorrow. Again, not a washout, not enough to cancel any plans, but a few spotty showers possible during the day. On Sunday, we see a mix of sun and clouds, and then we start to warm up into next week. Doreen?
All right, I see those high 60s. Thanks, Shell. Still to come, decision day for the Academy on Will Smith and his possible punishment for that Oscar slap. And the song that has taken over the world has taken over a big list at Disney. We're going to talk about Bruno coming up next. In entertainment news now, in just a few hours, the Academy is set to meet to discuss possible sanctions against actor Will Smith. It was 12 days ago that Smith slapped comedian Chris Rock on stage at the Oscars after a joke about his wife. A short time later, Smith accepted the award for Best Actor. Well, today, the Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts and Sciences Board of Governors will decide what action it may take. Smith has apologized as well as resigned from the Academy.
There's been lots of discussion about, well, you should take his Oscar back. Well, let me tell you, first thing, that's not happening. There are very few options the Academy has for any actual punishment for Will Smith.
Today's meeting was initially scheduled for the 18th, but the board decided to move it up, saying it's in everyone's best interest to handle this sooner rather than later. Pink Floyd is reuniting for a good cause. The legendary rock band is releasing a new single, Hey Hey Rise Up. All proceeds go to the Ukrainian humanitarian relief. Pink Floyd hasn't released new music in 28 years.
We don't talk about Bruno, no.
Well, yes, we are still talking about We Don't Talk About Bruno. The song from the Oscar-winning film Encanto now tops Billboard's all-time chart of Disney songs. That surpasses the classics Can You Feel the Love Tonight from The Lion King, as well as Let It Go from Frozen. When we come back, Chelsea has another look at your Friday afternoon forecast. Stay with us. Well, finally this afternoon, this is one lucky dog. Palm Springs police used volunteers and a rope system to help pull this dog named Bo out of a storm drain. So the dog's owner had reported him missing, and someone walking nearby heard the pup crying from the drain. Bo somehow wasn't injured. He was given back to his owner, but not before some extra pets and a picture, of course.
Bo's just sitting there like, what?
Yeah, what happened?
What's the problem?
Yeah, I don't know. I was walking
swimming.
along and then I was not.
I was going for a swim.
No.
All right.
Glad he's okay.
Yes, of course, of course. Lots of water running through those drains this morning. Gosh, it was pouring with thunder and lightning early on to start the day. Now we are clearing out. We are getting warmer, low to mid 60s, a little bit of a breeze today. We have some spotty showers around tomorrow. Again, it's not a washout. Most of the day, just kind of mostly cloudy with some pops of sun, mix of sun and clouds on Sunday, and then warming up next week.
I see that.
Yes.
I'm going to keep watching that, Chelsea.
I know.
Circle that one on the calendar after the weekend,
Yeah,
of course. Thanks, Chelsea. And thank you for joining us for the news at noon. The news continues first at 4. Have a great day, everybody.